going to be doing a video about bath magic or cleansing your aura, stuff like that. I do it very, very often, and I figured that it would be helpful for someone who is interested in it or is interested in how I kind of keep my aura clear of just negative stuff that can get in there. Please ignore all the stuff over there. I do have a nightstand on this side of the room, but I don't have one on that side. I will eventually get another nightstand to like even it out because it's bugging me. I've also changed the light bulbs in my lights because they were the daylight bulbs. Like, if you know me personally, you know how much I hate the daylight bulbs. And they were the daylight bulbs. And it's really hard to get even lighting when that's a soft white bulb, that's a soft white bulb, and these are daylight bulbs. So I changed them to soft white and I feel so much better about the lighting. I just feel like it's just better. So the first thing I want to talk about, which is something that I do really, really often when I'm taking baths, because I do really enjoy baths. Even if I'm not in them to actually get clean and I'm just in there to relax, I will even do this then because I just feel like it's so helpful in keeping my aura kind of in check, if you will, because a lot of times like we'll have stuff in our auras that we don't even really notice, and it will affect us in ways that we don't think it's affecting us. And so when we clear it out, we're just like, oh my gosh, I feel so much better, you know, stuff like that. And before I go to what I'm going to talk about, I do want to mention that a lot of times we can get attached to people, and this is called cording or having a cord attached. And what that means is that when you talk to someone, whether that's over the phone, video chat, texting, emailing, when you communicate with someone else, you're energetically putting a cord to that person. And it can happen when you're talking to them in person. Like if you're talking to them in person, you do the same thing. And without cutting that cord, you are constantly attached to that person. So a lot of times when we have emotions or things that come up in our lives, it's because we have these subconscious cords attached to all these different people. And one thing that really, really helps when I find that I'm just feeling overwhelmed or upset or just overall, you know, not in a good place, I ask Michael, Archangel Michael, to cut cords. I just say, Michael, cut cords. And it automatically, you know, signals to him that you're ready to let go, and he will just go around and just cut all those cords so you're not attached to someone energetically. And I cannot tell you how many times I have felt, you know, off and just really in a bad place, and I'm just like, I'm just gonna ask because it's probably not gonna do anything, but I might as well because, you know, I'm like a super, I'm like that. I never think it's gonna work, and then I ask him to do it and I immediately feel this huge weight off my shoulders, and it just makes a huge world of a difference. So I encourage you to try that and see if it helps you. So after I've mentioned that, I usually do that before I get into the bath or the shower. And even before I get into tools that I use, I want to talk about simply using the water and the energy and connecting to it, because it is very easy for me to connect to it because I'm a Pisces and I'm a water sign, and I really obsess over water. Like, I just love it. But I've talked to a friend, and she recommended that when I was in the shower, I imagine the shower water, because it's over your head, imagine it as this white light energy just washing over you and washing away any negativity, anything you have attached to you, and it is the most amazing experience. The first time I did it, I was just like, why have I never done this? This is amazing. So I highly recommend you try that because it is just, it's so nice. I do the same thing with baths, but because you're sitting in the bath, it can be a little bit harder to imagine it, you know, just washing stuff away. So what I do is while the bath is filling, I put my hand over the faucet, or just, you know, hover it because you don't want to like burn yourself. And you just imagine infusing that water with healing, love, joy, peace, harmony, cleansing, you know, and just imagine the bath being filled with this white light. And even if you don't imagine it like that the whole time you're in the bath, it can really help to infuse that water with your intentions and help to, you know, cleanse your aura by just simply putting that intention into the water. One thing that is the biggest thing I use all the time is sea salt. And I know that a lot of people have talked about sea salt. Some people use it for protection, cleansing. I use it for the same things. I use it for mostly cleansing. And I just get the coarse all natural sea salt, and I get this from like Rayleigh's, but I try to get it as natural as possible. And I have used the really granulated kind and the coarse kind, and I definitely prefer the coarse kind. I don't know why, but I just feel like it works better. But I just put that in the bath before I fill it up, and, you know, just let the water run over it, and that way you're cleansing the space, you know, cleansing the bathtub, and you're putting that intention into the water, so it just helps it, you know, just all meld together into this wonderful, like, so good. Another thing is, a lot of people are like, how do I use salt if I'm gonna be in the shower? Like, when I'm taking a shower, I usually just take the salt and just put it in my palm. I kind of rub it through my hands so my hands are really salty, and then I just kind of rub it, you know, over my chakra points and over my arms and wherever I can get it, and then I'll just rinse it off. And that helps. Like, it still is helping, even though you're not getting the full immersing of, you know, you being in salt water. Another thing is, if you have access to Himalayan salt, that is even better. I actually prefer it over sea salt, even though I'm like such a sea lover. I love the sea, but I actually prefer Himalayan sea salt because it's that pink salt that you can see around, that like the salt lamps are made out of it. You can get bath bars that are made out of it. I got a bath bar off of Amazon that was made out of Himalayan sea salt, and it was definitely helpful because you just hold like this piece of salt and you can just go over your body, and it's way easier than taking like, you know, granulated salt or pieces of salt and like trying to keep them on, because it's just this big bar. So I will link down below where you can get that Himalayan salt bar on Amazon, because I definitely found that useful, and it wasn't that expensive. I want to say it was like maybe $10. And they also sell Himalayan salt ground up, like a coarse ground up Himalayan salt at grocery stores and stuff like that, but it can be on the pricier side, which is why I usually just use regular sea salt. Another thing that I have done for a while now, actually a couple years, is I have done tea baths. When I do tea baths, I always combine it with the salt, because I just feel like tea is very detoxifying, whether you drink it or whether you're actually soaking in it. And not a lot of people think to do that, because one thing that I was worried about when I was first, you know, gonna do it was that it was gonna stain my tub, which it never did. No matter how dark I got the water, it never really stained my tub. So I never found a problem with that, but I know that a lot of people can be really cautious about that. If you're really worried about it staining your tub, I recommend just using one tea bag rather than multiple ones. I always find myself using 3 or more, just because 3 is a really powerful number, you know, maiden, mother, crone, past, present, future, the Trinity, like it's a very powerful number in magic. And so I always find myself doing either 3 or 6 tea bags, and I just use regular black tea usually, and I find that it really helps to help me detox and really clear out my aura. I also have found myself using, you know, 2 black tea bags in combination with 1 peppermint tea bag or 1 green tea bag, or just using all green tea or all peppermint tea. When you're sick, peppermint tea in the bathtub is amazing, because when the steam comes up, it's coming up with that pepperminty smell, and it's just so good. It just feels amazing, and it's really helpful in clearing out your sinuses and stuff like that. Another thing that I recommend doing is, when you're using tea bags, if you're using as much as I do, which is usually about 6, because I really like my water to be fairly dark, I use one of these tiny drawstring, I think this is organza, these bags that you can get from like Walmart in, I don't know, like a 3-pack, 6-pack, I don't know what they come in, but you can buy these like anywhere. You can go to the dollar store and get these, and I just put all the tea bags in there and then tie it closed. And the other helpful thing is you can cut off the strings from the tea bags and just put them in there, and then just rely on this to hang it from your faucet or whatever. Or you can put it in your water and not worry about them just like floating everywhere. So that is really, really helpful. Another thing that I found to be really helpful is that if you like the idea of infusing your bath with herbs or anything like that, I found these press and brew tea bags from Amazon, and they actually have a seal around the outside to where you can take a hair straightener. I just use my hair straightener, and once it's warmed up, it kind of loosens the glue a little bit, and then you close it and then it just glues together, and it doesn't come apart. Like, it's very sturdy. But I've used this for cooking, I've used this for baths. Like, it's really, really helpful. And the reason why I bring that up is because I was thinking about it and I was like, people, they might want to really customize it and make it their own. And I looked up a couple different herbs that I just found in my kitchen alone that I found would be very helpful for using in baths and stuff like that. One thing that you do have to be careful about with herbs though, and essential oils, if you're using them, is some people can have allergic reactions to the herbs or the essential oils on their skin. So you do want to be cautious about that, and try not to like drink the water, because some of the herbs are just not meant to be ingested. They're meant to be, just don't drink it or put it like directly on your skin without like testing it out first. Don't like test it out by eating it. Like, you know what I'm talking about. Like, just be careful. So things that I found in my kitchen that you could stuff these tea bags with is bay leaves, which bay leaves are good for protection, psychic power, divination, success, money, and wish magic, which I already had these in my kitchen for those reasons, because I have used them for a couple different spells. But to know that you can put it in your bath is even better, because it will be on your body. Like, it's just such a smart idea. So you could put that in there. I also found some ground thyme, and the thing with this is you could get like thyme leaves or it in a not ground form, but if you have it in the ground form, definitely put it in the tea bag, because it's gonna go everywhere otherwise, and it's gonna be really hard to clean out of your bathtub. All the ways that I've showed you so far are really easy to clean out of your bathtub. I would never tell you to do something that's not easy to clean out of your bathtub, or if it was, I would tell you, because I am totally a clean freak. Like, I don't like to have all that trouble of cleaning out my bathtub after I've taken a bath. Like, I'm all relaxed. I don't want to not relax by like cleaning. So thyme is good for psychic powers, spiritual growth, love, stops nightmares and bad dreams, divination, courage, purification, restful sleep, healing, inner calm, and balance. Another thing you can use is black pepper, and black pepper is really good for banishing negativity, warding off bad vibes, and protection. And so that's the end of this video. I'm not going to go into much more, but I just wanted to recommend these things to you because I felt that maybe you would find it helpful, and I hope you liked this. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you're not already. If you have friends or family that you would like to watch this video, feel free to share it with them. I hope you guys are all having a great week, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye. What are you doing? Are you helping Mama with the video? She's like, what the heck are you doing? I know, it's weird, huh? What is that? What is that?